Okay, good evening, everybody. It's good evening from Singapore, everybody.
Hi, it's good afternoon from us here in Germany.
Perfect.
And good afternoon from me in London.
Today we have a very special guest joining us, Michael. So we'll take the regular questions which we have, but we'll also take questions from Michael and we'll be having a short chat with him just to get a sense of where we are.
Yes. And we'll also share a few details with you guys.
Mm.
Second day of our hackathon. You're all very busy, and I can see that you're all working hard. So it's great. We are looking forward to see what you guys are going to come up with. We've been sending regular updates, so I hope you've seen it on DevPost. We've just sent one earlier today to share with you on the submission guidelines, because I think some of you do have some questions on the submission guidelines. So we will cover that as well today. So over to you, Saloni.
Okay, perfect. So Michael is here with us today. He's the lead mentor for EMEA. He's got around 20 years of experience in the travel industry, also in product management. He runs his own consulting company and also is a part of Skiend. We had a very good video from him as a part of Industry Insight. So I actually give it to Michael to introduce and tell us a little more about himself.
Great, thanks, Eleni. Thanks, Shiksa. So I've been in travel 20 years, as you said. I started off actually way back when the online travel agents were looking for online inventory, and I worked for a company called Pegasus, which at the time was supporting distribution to the GDSs and was sitting on 50,000 hotels live inventory, and the OTAs were hungry for that inventory, and we sort of pivoted to start supporting the online travel agents at that time, and then since then done various roles from product management to sales engineering to most recently I was CEO of a company called eRevMax, which was a channel management and business intelligence solution, and then more recently I was managing director for a Californian startup called Duetto, which provided or created a revenue management solution for hotels, which really disrupted the industry in terms of approaching the way that revenue management recommendations were calculated. They considered far more future-looking data than the historical legacy systems had done. So 20 years in travel technology, mostly in hotel technology.
That's amazing, Michael. Thank you. So do tell us, how has it been going for you so far with the hackathon, with our day one already completed?
Yeah, I'm just amazed by the number of teams out there and the wide range of ideas that have come, have been put on the table. So obviously a lot going on. I think it's probably a question of people paddling really hard under the surface, and not too much from my perspective can be seen in terms of what's been developed. But certainly if the ideas are anything to go by, I think we should be in for a treat when it comes to seeing the final submissions. I think you're on mute, Sven.
I'm trying to.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking we are really looking forward to see what solutions come out of this hackathon, because as it was mentioned in the opening ceremony, everybody in the industry is looking at what next for the industry. Okay, so we have a question from Aurelie. So yes. What's the energy level in the hack, according to you, Michael?
I think it's intense. Some teams are sort of just saying, don't bother us. We know where we're going. We know what we want to do, and we've got our pedal to the metal, as they say. And other teams are obviously still trying to cement their ideas. I think we're at a point now where all the ideas are now a little bit more formed. But in the initial stages, there were some teams that were looking for guidance and support in terms of the value that they were creating. So they had an idea, but didn't really necessarily know how to execute that and understand the value. So a wide range, but I think overall lots of energy, lots of enthusiasm. Principally because this is unprecedented times. I think the opportunity for innovation and to create new and interesting things to solve practical problems is unprecedented. And yeah, I think literally everything is up for grabs. I mean, any idea can literally change the trajectory of a company. So yeah, lot to play for.
Thank you, Mike. So I think we have a question. We can take that, Saloni. So it's about what is your best approach for the 2-minute video? If we start to speak during the video, then the concept cannot be explained. Is it enough that all explanation is given in the text description? So, okay.
No, go ahead. Saloni, go. Maybe Saloni, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. So, okay. So, yes, it's okay. I think the most important part in the video is that when we look at the idea in the video, the judges look at the idea, they should really get a hang of it. And as somebody said, that they should just look at it and feel so excited about the solution. So it doesn't have to go into what your team is and what you're doing. Maybe just a one-liner on what you're trying to solve. Just keep it like 10 seconds and then your solution, so that if somebody's just watching the video also, they understand what it is about. But focus on the demo more than anything else in the video.
Yeah, I would just add, I think try and create a story. It's all about storytelling, and you need to, I know 2 minutes is not a long time, but the more that you can create a story from that 2 minutes, the better. And it's really, I think, setting the scene. So what is the problem that you're solving? What are the benefits of your solution? And then your solution is really the bridge between the problem and the solution. And that's the essence of this, of the video. But if you don't create the problem and the solution where you want to get to, then the bridge that you've created, the required capabilities, maybe get lost. So I think frame it in sort of those terms.
Perfect. Thank you. We have a question on ideation. I think it's coming a bit late in the stage, but happy. I mean, if you'd like to.
Yeah, let's get it. Yeah.
Would you like to do that?
Yeah, I think you've got to your two things really. I mean, you have to your solution needs to solve a problem. You shouldn't create something that needs a market. I think that's the wrong approach. So you need to approach this. Your idea needs to be solving a practical problem. And then the second element to that is don't try and boil the ocean. I think Gene said that in his opening address. Don't try and tackle a huge problem that is going to be so complex and difficult that you end up doing nothing. Break those bigger problems down into smaller pieces and tackle a small piece, and make sure that you provide a practical, implementable component to solve that particular problem.
Yep. Thank you. We have another question, and it's about regarding the textual pitch on dev post. What format is expected? Only text or PowerPoint? My advice to you is it's okay if it's text. I think text is perfectly fine as long as it is concise. Try to summarize it and clearly explain what your solution does. So keep it short but very concise. And again, I think more work has to happen on the prototype itself plus the demo video. I think the demo video is where your 2 minutes of fame lie. So work hard on it and make it really stand out. So that would be my advice to you guys. And if you want to add something, Saloni.
No, I think I replied, Tony. Yes, so really focus, use all your creative juices in the video.
Ooh,
and the solution.
Yeah. Yep, we're getting really a lot of nice questions,
comments and questions.
Yeah. Good morning.
So I think
happy to have you with us.
That's from America. So if there's any question from America, I'm happy to get that. So
do you have another question, Saloni? You want to take that one?
Yes, I can. Actually, we have a lot of questions coming in, and I have a question as well. Okay, well, can you give us an idea? Okay, so after the submissions, yes, the evaluation happens at that time. So next 1 week is when the evaluation process happens. We have a team of judges. A lot of judges will go through your solution, which has been submitted, and based on all the inputs we get, we'll come out with the solution on the 19th. Live Q&A with the judges, not really, but unless we have an issue with the solution, we can't figure out the code or something, then we'll reach out to you.
Yeah, And probably after we are done, we would see if we would next week we are going to have a lot of going, because we want to keep the engagement going with you guys even after the hackathon is complete. It's not the end. It's actually the beginning of something wonderful, and we will be reaching out to you to have more sessions. Probably have sessions where we can have you participate, you know, in a quiz, or have you interact with us, share your side of the story. We've done a lot of talking. We really want to hear who you are, what did you guys think of the hackathon, where do you see you're going, like what's the future looking like for you guys. So we really want to talk to you guys, and we're really planning to do that after the session, hackathon ends. So we have Florian, who just joined us.
Hello, Florian.
Hello guys. I'm just going to I'm jumping in to answer Daniele. Daniele, great question. So the judging is going to happen. The hack is finishing tomorrow night. UTC time. What is the UTC end time?
7 time. That's where you have to finish your submission. By when you have to finish it.
I didn't hear the UTC time. Sorry.
11:45.
Okay, perfect. And as of that, the judges will be able to start looking at it. The objective for the judges in 4 days to review all the submitted projects. So there is not a selection round of a semi-final, final. It's the judges will look into all the projects. And based on that, we have criteria, the 4 judging criteria, and we'll be able to evaluate the winners per regions and global, and per award as well. I hope I answered.
Yeah, perfect. So we have Amrit, who says hi from Hong Kong. Hi, Amrit. We have
Leo.
Hi, Leo. Leo has been a regular supporter of all our live Q&As.
Yeah. Hello, Leandro.
Leo is the reason we have these sessions every day. If it was not for him, we probably would have stopped by now.
We know
and Thiago also as well is joining constantly.
Yes, Thiago.
Yeah, that's very encouraging. So we have one more question. That's from Aurelie. And that one is for Michael. So what trends have you observed so far? What problems do you think are getting solved?
Yeah, there's so many submissions, so it's quite hard to sort of condense it down into particular themes. But I suppose the two that are standing out for me is there's a lot of in-destination type solutions that are making the experience in destination more seamless and enjoyable for travelers. And I suppose that's sort of maybe people have wanderlust and they're sick of being stuck in their bedrooms or something like that. But it seems, there seems to be a lot around trying to enhance the experience of in-destination trips and activities and things like that. And I think actually in the introductory talk, that came through, that it's one of the areas where there's a lot of fragmentation. So air travel and hotels, the distribution of that is quite well established, but with in-destination activities and tools, not so much. And so I think there's a real opportunity to provide more distribution, better distribution for those elements, but also once you're in the destination, the coordination around those activities is still very offline, and there's a huge opportunity to digitalize those processes. So seeing quite a lot of that. And then obviously there's a big push for contactless technologies. Again, in destination. So once someone's in a destination, making sure that they are not touching things unnecessarily, whether it's check-in and door locks and things like that, but also just around safe distance and general health and safety around your trip.
Perfect. And actually on the point of contactless, and I think you also mentioned it in your video about things having to go contactless. Do you think the warmth of the experiences will be lost with the whole contactless thing?
I don't. For a long time, I've always felt that we in the travel industry used the fact that we're a person-to-person industry to actually paper over some of the friction points in our in the service that we provide. And in a hotel context, for example, we would often say that you need to have people there to check you in. The reality is those people behind the check-in desks are not really being that hospitable. They're actually it's more of an interrogation, to be honest. Where do you come from? Why are you staying? Who are you? That sort of thing.
Give me your passport.
But that, that's just one example. But all through the guest journey, there are those friction points where human-to-human interaction is required to solve them, but in reality they would be better served through a digital experience, leaving the humans to actually do what humans do and provide genuine hospitality, to provide unusual and difficult problems and really elevate and enhance the experience for the guest in a way that machines and technology can't. So I think this is a needed change, and honestly I welcome the fact that despite the pandemic being a horrible thing, that it's actually forcing our industry to tackle these friction points that have honestly been around for too long.
I agree totally. I just wanted to add, because my own experiences, I do prefer contactless experiences, like where you don't have to meet someone. And I think if you think in terms of, you're talking about hotels, maybe that would not be something that we would think of. But now when Airbnb arrived, for example, when you go to an Airbnb, how often do you even meet your host? You don't. It's a very simple process. You just go, they tell you where to find the key. You don't even see them until you leave, and you only contact them if you have an issue. I think for me, that's very convenient, that rather than standing in a queue and waiting to be checked in and waiting to be checked out. My take on the experience is that I'd rather not interact with people, calls or whatever, and just be done. So I think the needs are changing. So yeah, contactless.
Actually, I think then I have a question for both of you, and both of you seem to agree on not having to go through the entire check-in process. What is the one experience you would not want to change? You would still want that person-to-person experience over there. You would still want that warmth. So yes, what is the top thing that comes to your mind? You don't want to go contactless. And we have Florian back. So Florian, this is a question for you also.
What humans do really well is we have empathy, we have understanding, we have compassion. Machines don't do that. So where it's just a manual, a process that's required to just fulfill certain elements of your stay, you don't need people to do that. Where you do need people is when something goes wrong, or where you're looking for something different and unique. So let's say you lost your bags, for example, at an airport. You're frustrated, you're trying to get to your destination, etc., etc. That's where a human should intervene and come in and show compassion and empathy and help you truly solve that particular problem. Machines would be, at that point would not serve you well. So it doesn't always have to be in a problem situation, but it could be showing you something unique and different, or whatever the case may be. But that's where humans can make a difference. And by automating those sort of repetitive, redundant tasks, it allows humans to intervene and actually enhance the guest experience at the appropriate times.
Totally agree. Maybe Florian wants to share what he would want.
Sure. Can you repeat the question, because I broke?
Yeah. So the question is that a lot of things will go contactless after the pandemic, and that's the kind of solutions people are working on. But what is that one thing, especially I think in the hospitality industry overall, which you wish should not go contactless? Like you would still want the human interaction and the warmth and the empathy, as Michael mentioned.
The direct interaction, and what I wish that we can shake hands. We can shake hands again. Definitely, that's the basic of human nature. Saying hello. So I think in the end that we'll have processes which are going to help ensuring security. But when you hear a lot of the doctors and all the virologs, it's about washing your hands regularly. It's about protecting you if you think you're at risk. It's about respecting the social distance. But in the end, if it's about washing your hand, it means that you can have contacts as long as you wash yourself and you make sure that things are good afterwards. So I think it's going to come back. The relationship between the guest and the employees is going to be completely different. That's that's an obligation. It's a no-brainer. And in fact, if you look on the social media about all the restaurants and the hotels and airlines communicating on their reopenings, it's all about people wearing masks. It's all about showing the distance when the guests are going to arrive in the places. So this interaction is going to change, and it's an obligation to respect the health of the customers and to respect the health of the employees. But in the end, between employees and between customers, interaction is going to be the interaction is going to be there. It's going to be very complicated to monitor. You won't be able to ask people entering, crossing in the doorway, not respect 2 meters when the doorway is only 1 meter. So it's going to be very difficult. We're not going to change buildings due to that. So due to security, yes, the relationship between the provider and the customer is going to change. Between humans on both sides, it's going to come back to normal. However, people are going to be much more knowledgeable about washing their hands, about taking care of themselves, about making sure that they can transmit less possible threat to others. However, interaction is going to come back, I think, normal. And I can see it already in the streets. I don't live in Paris. Looking at the videos in Paris, it seems like life has come back to normal. And
in Australia.
In plenty of countries around the world where the virus has not been so big as an impact, life is going on as usual. So I'm not sure if I brought anything to the plate, but that's fine.
No, so Kevan, Aurelie has a solution for you. Till the time you cannot shake hands, she suggests you go for an elbow bump. Thanks, Aurelie, for this. And
Yeah.
Nina also has a comment on this. So humans are needed to provide local information. Agree. Check-in, ordering requests. Agree. That is perfectly sick with what Michael said. But now we have a couple of questions.
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say, another practical example for me of where humans and machines work well together is in a restaurant situation where, let's say, you don't need a human to run through the menu with you. You don't need a human to take your order, and you don't need a human to pay for your food when you leave. But where a restaurateur could really help is explain what the dishes of the days are, what their favorite things are, what would complement this meal with that, what wine would go with that. So it's the extra little bits, understanding a little bit about why you're out for dinner, that sort of thing. That enhances the experience. A human taking your order, or you waiting to pay when you've eaten, you've had a great, fabulous experience, and now you're waiting 5 minutes to grab someone else's attention. That's a friction point. That actually devalues what you've just experienced. So automate it for sure. And there's an opportunity for humans to really come in. And I think that the service providers that focus on that human element to complement the technology are the ones that are going to really excel.
Actually, I love this idea. And so a lot of hotels over here in Singapore, they have the tablet where you can order, which is brilliant. But as you said, a lot of times you don't understand what the dish is and you want some customization. So I would say, I think it makes perfect sense for all of them to automate the technology. But if they could just give a little more explanation in just that picture, it doesn't even have to be a person, that will be very helpful.
Perfect. Moving on, we see that Leandro has a question, and that's a hot topic, I think. Do you think that users should own their digital identities for these contactless experiences? Like I said, interesting question. Everyone has their own take on it, with people wanting to put privacy and protect identities. This can be quite a sensitive subject.
Actually, he has reframed a little bit, yeah. So the use of distributed databases. Contactless, yeah.
Yeah, my view is, and this is my personal view, if it's going to enhance my experience, if sharing my personal details with the providers that I trust and want to do business with, then I'm prepared to do that. So it's a question of, I think it's a personal preference, and I think it's a question of trust and the extent to which you want your engagement with that particular provider to be seamless and frictionless. in some cases, you may want to hold back providing the information. In some cases, you'll be perfectly comfortable saying, yes, I have a deep relationship with you. I'm prepared to share my information with you. And a lot of us already have that with Facebook or Amazon or whatever the case may be. So it's, and I think more and more, we will start giving more of our personal information because we're probably going to desire more personalization from the people that we do business with.
Perfect. So, all right, we have another question from Odette, and I would love to answer that because I have a personal experience with this one. Talks in the industry show the impact of COVID-19 is expected to drive travelers more towards hotels instead of Airbnb because of hygiene and safety. I'll have to say I probably thought along those lines, Odette, but my personal experience, because I had to book an Airbnb last week itself, it's not true. People are still going to book Airbnb, and I guess life slowly does go back to normal. I'm based in Germany. When I tried to book an Airbnb last weekend, it was not that easy because summer has started here, and it was like 80% booked. So I think people will still go to Airbnb, and the hygiene and safety concern will be a personal thing where people will take their own precautions. But for sure, I can see that the trend here, at least in Germany, people are still doing.
I was saying it's starting to boom again regarding hotels. Definitely, hotels are going to provide a much secure environment. From what I see is that there's a lot Airbnb and the likes, not only Airbnb, but all the likes, have been sending strict security measures and quality hygiene measures to their host for them to apply. So it's going to be hard to make. It's going to be hard, but they're all aligned and they all know that it's important for them. And in fact, on the consumer basis, what I think is happening is that a lot of people, before starting to getting packed again and going to places, they're going to want to have their holidays in their securized environment. And a better way to do that is to go through homes, vacational rental homes. And definitely there's a boom for the summer, which might be expecting on the Airbnb and likes. However, and we see it as well for RVs and camping cars. So it's massive. People are just going to travel with their home. And so I know that, for example, in Canada, the bookings are just smashing. And for companies like Kappa in Europe, and others, the activity is just booming currently. So people are going to be willing to travel, but within a securized environment. Airbnb is that the answer. Vacation rental are going to be such an answer, and the hotels will need to provide the answers for that. And people are going to go for hotels because they know that in terms of food, hygiene, cleaning, employee respect, things are going to be under control as well. So everyone is adapting based on its needs, and everyone is targeting the customers based on their willingness of freedom and liberty and understanding of what security they can provide and they can ask for.
Yeah, and Airbnb has come out saying that they are looking at the whole health and hygiene thing, and they are validating whether the house listed is health and hygiene validated. So hopefully people still go for vacation rentals. Michael, will you go for an Airbnb still, or will it be hotels?
Yeah, I think Florian's right. When you stay at a vacation rental, it's your family unit there. So provided that owner can give you assurances that the place has been properly cleaned prior to your arrival, you actually, once you're there, you're in a safer environment than at a hotel, potentially, conceivably. So it's probably going to boil down to personal preferences, but I would see. I think the experience is that people are booking vacation rentals because of those factors, and probably long stay apartments is probably another sector that's going to benefit because you maybe have some of the convenience of a hotel, but without the congestion and traffic that you would see at a traditional hotel.
Perfect. So Raman has a question. How do we ensure contactless is standardized from the word go? I guess, Raman, that's why we are running this hackathon. We are making right, and we're looking
No,
for
but,
yeah, but go ahead, Salome.
yeah, I think it makes sense because right now, for example, for airline check-ins, we have to download an app for each airline, and it's probably the same that's going to happen for restaurants, hotels. So yes, it's quite a pain, and I at times just don't want to download something.
Yeah, this is the $1 million problem. I mean, if you can tell this, Roman, you're going to be quids in, as they say in England. And actually, it's not just about contactless. It's actually this whole health and safety aspect. So each, the airlines have their code of conduct. The hotels will have theirs. The taxis will have theirs. That's one break in that chain could actually. So your hotel your accommodation provider might have really strict standards and adhere to them, and likewise the airline. But what happens if the taxi company doesn't? You're vulnerable at that point. So I think, rather than kind of having these vertical health standards, we need to look at the whole journey and ensure that the traveler is protected across the whole journey, across all verticals, just as they need to have a contactless experience.
Right. I think it's time for our last question, which is from Samuel Angio, and it's more to do with the airlines. Do you think airlines will be more responsive in losing some revenue from ancillaries like food and enhance customer experience and security? Let's get an airline person.
Of course.
Yeah, I really don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough
But I
one.
think right now a lot of airlines are also the ones running right now. They are not offering any food, and they're all giving their kit, the kit which has got a shield and a mask. But not sure. Maybe they make it. They start charging for that at some point. So rather than losing revenue, maybe they start getting revenue from another stream.
Yeah, and I think maybe when they do serve food, it's going to be more like bags and things like that. So the traditional
Yeah.
trays and things like that will probably disappear. It's good. So I don't think the airlines will give up any revenues if they can help it. So maybe they're just going to reinvent the way that they actually present these ancillary services.
Thank you, Michael. It's been a really good session. I would like to add some few words before we wrap up. So questions on submission. Final submission is due tomorrow. Tomorrow at 11:45 UTC time. So please do submit, do work on everything, and do it on DevPost. To submit your idea, to submit your final project, all you have to do is go to DevPost and edit your existing idea submission. And again, what are we looking for? We need your textual pitch. We need your 2 minutes video, which is showing your working prototype. So make sure that's there. And we also need the links to test your solution or the code, GitHub, website, app, whatever it is that you're working on. We want to have a look at that as well. So all these 3 things are required. Mentors are here to guide you. Michael is already doing an amazing job working with the mentor teams. And if you have any questions, reach out to us on Slack. We are there.
Thank you, guys. And Michael, it's impressive. I cannot say enough what you're doing currently, helping all the guys in the Slack, in EMEA, and all the mentors. Thank you very much for that.
My pleasure.
I see that you're enjoying it, so keep on surfing the wave. And to all the people connected, thank you, guys. Keep on working hard. Make sure you do your checkpoints today with the team, because we see that the project are being fine-tuned, and there's some last critical questions that they're trying to address. And so be sharp and be good on the answers provided. Keep on the good job, and we're looking for your questions, and we're available 24 hours for any help requested.
And also let us know who you want here next in our Q&A session. I think it was really engaging to have Michael. So yeah, we are open to suggestions. Leo, maybe you said Leo can give us a suggestion. Leo, who do you want next over here? And maybe we get Leo sometime to come and talk to us.
But I see. I'm going to pick people.
Yes.
Daniele, you were active. You're going to join Daniele. Nina, regarding health as well. And we need to find as well an airline guide to answer some questions.
Okay, perfect. So tomorrow we have these people on then.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so we'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you for
Yes,
joining.
I'll
Happy
reach out
work
to
from
you.
all of you. All right, take care. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thank
See
you.
you tomorrow. Thank you, Michael.
And thank you, Saloni. Thank you, Shiksa.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.